कस्मै येन विभासितो यमतुनो ज्ञानप्रदीपः पुरा तद्रूपेण च नारदाय मुनये कृष्णाय तद्रूपिणाम् योगीन्द्राय तदात्मनाथ भगवद्राताय कारुण्यतः तच्छुद्धं विमलं विशोकम् अमृतं सत्यं परं धीमहि योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्य किल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. It was with great delight that we listened to Swamiji Maharaj's discourse on Bhakti, Avatirna Bhagavan. From so many places the quotes came, from Shankara Bhashya, from Ramanuja, from Bhagavatam, from Bhagavad Gita, and from the Upanishads. And there itself you have got the Bhagavatha Sandesham, the Rahasyam also. In the very beginning of Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam speaks about Rahasyam. As Swamiji has given Sandesham, I will start with Rahasyam. The Rahasyam is in the very first verse. Of course, we know Bhagavatam starts with that Brahma Sutra, the second sutra of Badarayana Sutras, Janmadhyasya Yataha. With that, Bhagavatam begins. And that is, actually that sutra itself is Brahma Sutra, because it gives the lakshana of Brahman. Tadastha lakshana of Brahman. Tadastha lakshana means it is not permanent. From where the Jagat, the world arises, in which the world remains, and unto which the world merges back. So that is Brahman. And that Brahman, the Bhagavata begins by calling as Satyam. Satyam Param Dhimahi. You know, there is a method to understand what is the purport, the essence of a scripture. It is by Upakrama and Upasamhara. In the beginning what is said, and in the end what is said, and in between also. But here we can see that in the beginning Bhagavata begins by Satyam Param Dhimahi. We meditate on that Satyam, that supreme Satyam. And the Tikakara says, why we, not I? Of course we know it is the Gayatri mantra is reminded there by Dhimahi. But we meditate means it is about Bhagavata Saptaham. It is about bhaktas who are sitting, smarantaha smarayantasya mitaha agaugaharam harim bhaktya sanjadaya bhaktya bibhrati utpulakam tanum. In Sri Ramakrishna's Gospel we can see that picture, painted picture, where you make the other remember and you remember. The devotee remembers God and he makes others also remember God. Now, Maharaj told about holding to Divine Mother. And with this connection I am remembering about Kanchi Paramacharya. In one of his discourses he says, I don't want to travel and give talks. I want to stay alone in a place and meditate on Divine Mother. But Divine Mother has made me in such a way that when I talk to you, her meditation comes. So when I am talking to you, I am able to meditate on her, and meditation is more deeper. Thus, she is making me work. So that I am moving about and talking, and meditation is also happening. So Mahamaya is making that that work. So this is when the bhakta is remembering Bhagavan, that smarana is coming. As Maharaj quoted the verses, Shravana smaranarhani karishyan. The entire Bhagavata is for that. You listen to Bhagavata, you recollect Bhagavata, Bhagavad Katha. And real bhakti arises within, Romanja comes. Romanja means goosebumps, horripilation. And tears manifest. And Gadgada comes. These are all bhakti, signs of bhakti. As Shankaracharya puts very beautifully in Shivananda Lahari, Anandashrubihi atanoti pulakam Nairmalyataha chadanam Vacha shankhamuke sthitaischa Jatarapurtim charitramritaihi Rudrakshayir bhasitena deva vapushaha raksham Bhavat bhavana paryanke viniveshya bhakti janani Bhaktarbhagam rakshati. This bhakta is an arbhaga. Arbhaga means an infant. As Sri Ramakrishna used to say, a small plant needs protection. Otherwise, goats and all animals will come and eat it. So you have to put a fence around it. Like that, in the beginning of bhakti, you need all security. All protection is needed. You should be with a guru. You should have the protection. And very protective surrounding is needed. But when you become a huge tree, you can tie an elephant in that tree. So like that, this bhakti janani bhaktarbhagam rakshati. This bhakti is janani. Janani means mother. And what does she do? She protects the bhaktarbhaga. We might be very old people, but we are also arbhaga. Arbhaga means children, infant. Means the bhakti is growing inside, it needs lot of tender care. And tears, horripilation, romanja, everything is the sign of bhakti. So this bhakti comes by smarantaha smarayantaha. He does recollection, and when he talks, others also gets rejuvenated. You know, when Sri Ramakrishna was talking day and night, and at last his throat got affected, there was cancer, and the doctor, Sarkar, who came there, he said, you should not talk. But he will say, you can talk with me. When I come, you can talk with me. Because that is unavoidable. You know, this Gopika says, see, because of Krishna we are ruined. You should never have any connection with this blackie. Karpan. Karpu Swami is there in Tamil Nadu. So, they say, alam asita sakkaihi. We don't want any contact with this asita, this black man. Then that Brahmara, it was moving away. Don't go. Dustyatastat katharthaha. We cannot give up that story. Please narrate something. Even a little bit of it goes inside. That katha, when it goes inside, karna piyusha viprut, bhavaya vihangaha bhikshucharyam charanti. Many have given up their home, hearth and home, everything. They have become bhikshus. So this katha is very dangerous. They have become like that. So this Bhagavad Katha Kathana is also a samadhi. The speaker is in samadhi, the listener is in samadhi. It is a kathana samadhi, shravana samadhi. And there is neither the speaker nor the listener, only that bhava loka is there. That bhava loka is there. So this is Bhagavata Rahasya. And this, you cannot get by sadhana also. Bhagavata says, how is this transmitted? Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye. From the heart to heart. It is the path of heart, not of the buddhi, not of the intellect. From the heart of the knower to the heart of the receiver. It is transmitted. That is why Upanishad also says, we do not know how to teach. The Rishi says, we do not know. Na vidumo na vijanimaha. How to teach this, how to transmit this experience. Asharyo vakta kushalosya labda. The knower is a wonder and the receiver is also a great wonder. So this is Bhagavata Rahasyam. Bhagavata begins with this Rahasyam and Lalita Sahasranama says Rahas Tarpana Tarpitaye Namaha. This is a Nama in Lalita Sahasranama. Divine Mother moves from the heart of the Guru to the disciple in a Rahasya Marga. And that Rahasya Marga is heart to heart. The teacher speaks and the listener receives it. You can see in Ramakrishna's life, one touch, one word from him, it transmitted. Even Swami Vivekananda used to say, religion is so simple that I can hand it over to you like as I can give you a flower. And that was seen in Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's life. His very mauna, his very silence transmitted that experience to so many. Even without one word, as Swamiji Maharaj has met Muruganar in his younger days, he has very closely had interaction with a great saint Muruganar. So Muruganar in one of his songs says, before I could close my eyes, he gave me that experience of deathlessness. Shava pirava shava nilai tandan jaga mayai shalakku arave. This maya was removed and he made me established in that deathless state. So this is pure grace, kripa, and this Bhagavad Kripa is Rahasya. In Shaiva Siddhanta, they used to say, Ish Atma Sakshatkara, Ishvara Sakshatkara, and Kripa Sakshatkara. This Kripa Sakshatkara, there even sadhana samskara disappears. Otherwise, sometimes the saint will remember, I have done this sadhana, because of that I have got this. But even this sadhana samskara disappears and he remembers only Kripa. Manikya in Trivachakam says, I did not do any tapas. I don't know how I got this. Yaneyo tabam shaiden Shivaya namavena petrin. And how is that Shiva? Tena in amudamai tittikyum Shiva peruman. That Shiva is within me as honey, as sweetness, as delight, as joy, as bliss. Tane vande, I didn't even call him, he just entered, invaded me. Bhagavata says, akramya atmani avasthita. He just attacks. No? The kripa is attack actually. It is a fight between sadhaka's ego and Bhagavan's kripa. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, Arul Poratam. It is the fight between sadhaka's ego, effort, and Bhagavan's kripa. See, usually we say, a magnet is kept, iron filing is there. The iron filing runs towards in fact with force, it rushes towards the magnet. It will appear as if the magnet is not doing anything. Everything is done by this iron filing. Why does not the magnet move a little bit and come near? All sadhana is being done by this iron. But actually what is happening? Actually, it is the power of the magnet which is pulling the iron filing towards itself. Actually, is the iron filing doing something? It is actually resisting. It is also doing. It is resisting. But overpowering its resistance, that Kripa Shakti is pulling it towards itself. So this is Rahasya. Akramya Atmani Avasthitam says. Bhagavan comes and attacks and enters the Bhakta's heart and takes place there. Finds place there. So this is Bhagavat Kripa Shakti. In Tamil we call it Arul Shakti. So this is Bhagavata Rahasyam. In the very beginning, Bhagavata begins with the Rahasyam that when you get a Jivan Mukta as a teacher, as a guru, the whole spiritual life becomes so utterly simple. Not only that, along with the teacherhood, the Bhakta disciple should have so much bhakti that Guru Charanambuja Nirbhar Bhaktaha Samsarad Achirad Bhavamuktaha. He becomes very quickly, he gets liberated from samsara. It is not by his power, but it is by that Guru Kripa and his bhakti to Guru, holding the feet of Guru. So this is the Bhakti Rahasya in the very first shloka in Bhagavata, where the teacher is there, the disciple is there, in the very presence of the teacher, from the heart of the Acharya or Guru to the heart of the disciple, the Vidya just moves about. It just goes. Suppose we have this coronavirus was there. It will not ask the next person, can I enter you? It just enters. Like that is bhakti, That is why satsanga is very important. Even if we sleep, someone will be having bhakti, it will come to us. Some touch will come. Some influence will come. That Swadhina Shakti is very, very important. So, this is this Bhakti Shastra. And it is also Jnana Vairagya Bhakti. Bhakti Jnana Viraganam Sthapanaya Prakashitam. As Bhagavata says, in fact Bhagavata says, this Bhagavata Shastra is only Jnanam. That is the claim of Bhagavata. It says, Kasmayena vibhasitoyam atulo jnana pradipah pura. It is the Jnana Pradipa. That is the name which Bhagavata gives. Jnana Pradipa. And another place it says, Sarva Vedanta Saram. Yad Brahmatmaikatva Lakshanam Vastu Advitiyam Tannishtham Kaivalyaika Prayojanam. It is concluding like that. Sarva Vedanta Saram. All the Upanishads are there in it. All the Vedanta Shastra. Brahmatmaikyatva Lakshanam. The Jiva Brahmaikya. What is here as Jiva is Krishna. Krishnamenam avehitvam atmanam akhilatmanam. This Krishna is Atma. He is your Swaswarupa. So this is told in Bhagavatam. So, Paramahamsyam ekam amalam jnanam param giyate. What is there? It is Paramahamsyam ekam amalam jnanam param giyate. That Paramahamsa jnana. And it is not different from bhakti, because without bhakti no jnana will come. And bhakti makes jnana so simple. In Gita Bhashya also, in the end, Bhashyakara says, Bhakti, there is a dvirukti. Two places Bhagavan says bhakti, bhakti. So says, by mere bhakti the person becomes deserving for jnanam. Even if he do not have any other sadhana sampatti, if he is a true bhakta, jnanam will come to him. Jnanam will dawn inside him. So this is the easiest. See, the whole Bhagavatam, when we study, it all the Upanishads, the commentaries, Bhashya, everything is there. Yoga Shastra is also there. Brahma Sutra is there, Yoga Sutra is there, Bhakti Sutra is there, everything is there, and Dharma Sutra is there. Everything is there in Bhagavatam. But Bhagavata appears very, very simple. Actually, it is much, much difficult than Bhagavad Gita. And Gita Shastra, Krishna says at least he compromises. Krishna says, after giving the Jnana Upadesha, Krishna tells Arjuna, you do not have adhikara for Jnana now, karmanyeva adhikaraste. You have only adhikara for karma. So do karma as yoga. But in Bhagavatam, to Uddhava, Bhagavan says, even if you feel like doing karma, don't do. He says, even if there is the chodana is there, nadriyet karma chodanam. Don't listen to the inner impulse to do. Absolutely give up. Renounce. So this is the language in Bhagavatam. In the Ekadasha Skanda, to Uddhava, Bhagavan, Uddhava is very dear to Bhagavan. He is, in fact, Krishna's beloved. That is why Krishna asked Uddhava to go to Gopikas. So there, Krishna says, Uddhava, you are very dear to me. Na tatha me priyatamaha atmayonihi na shankaraha na sankarshanaha naiva shrihi na cha atma yata bhavan. Even Brahma is not that much dear to me. In Shiva is not that much dear to me. Even Mahalakshmi is not that much dear to me. Even I am not that much dear to me as you are, because you are Bhagavata. Tvam cha Bhagavateshu aham. Ekanath Maharaj, in his Marathi commentary to Ekadasha Skandham, where he says, when Bhagavan was telling this, he had only 2 hands. But when he was telling Uddhava, you are my beloved, 4 hands came to hug him, to embrace Uddhava. So that much love arose in Bhagavan towards Uddhava. And Krishna says, because you are dear to me, I will give you the greatest blessing, greatest boon. You know what is that boon? Then we will say we don't want that boon. You know what is the boon? Tvam tu sarvam parityajya sneham swajana bandhushu mayaveshya manas samyak samadrik vicharasvagam. He said, Uddhava, you give up everything. You renounce everything and move about in the world with samadarshitva. By holding me in your heart as a free soul, as a jivan mukta, move about. This is the blessing that Krishna gave to Uddhava. So this Uddhava, how did he get this jnanam? It is by pure bhakti. He was Krishna Anucharam Prashantam. When he comes to Gopikas, all the Gopikas, they just rushed to see Uddhava and whirled around him. They came around him. Why they did that? After Krishna went away from Vrindavan, they have not gone to any person to speak. They never felt like going near any man. But when they saw Uddhava, they just rushed, because Uttama Shloka Padambuja Ashrayam. This Bhakta he is a great Bhagavad Bhakta. So Parivavruhu Utsukaha Tam Uttama Shloka Padambuja Ashrayam. So they just came and gathered around Uddhava. So this Uddhava is a great Bhakta, Gopikas are Bhaktas, Prahlada is a great Bhakta, Dhruva is a great Bhakta. We know all the stories, so many Bhaktas. And in all that Bhakti, there is Atma Jnana Gumpita. It is hidden. Even in Prahlada's story, we say Prahlada is the foremost of Bhaktas. But when Narada is giving him the teaching is Jnanam only. In fact, it is the Avastatraya Vicharam. He says, Buddher Jagaranam Swapnaha Sushuptiriti Vrittayaha. This is the teaching that Narada is transmitting to Prahlada. Your own self is Hari. Hari Sarveshu. And Prahlada's jnana is so full that he says, I don't see anything other than Bhagavan anywhere. Tvam vayuragniravanir vyadambumatraha pranendriyani hridayam chid anugrahasya sarvam tvameva saguno vigunasya bhuman nanyatvadasti yat mano vajasa niruktam. All the five elements, everything, the body, the mind, even the ego, everything, oh Bhagavan, it is you. Evam vimarsya sudhiyaha viramanti shabdat. Prahlada says, thus contemplating, thus filling our field of experience with the divine. Isha vasyamidam sarvam sudhiyaha. Those who are wise, they just become mauna, silent. Nothing to do, no other sadhana. No more sadhya at all. Nothing to do. Kritakrityata comes to them. Because there is no sadhaka. Everything is Bhagavan only. So in that state, Prahlada remained. So this is the supreme bhakti which Bhagavata is picturing before us. This Paramahamsa Samhita is picturing before us. And this Bhagavata Sandesha is this. In the beginning we should have, as Swamiji said, we should have bhakti to the avatirna Bhagavan. And not only the form of Bhagavan, even Nama is avatirna Bhagavan. Even Bhagavan Nama is called an avatar. We need something to hold. So Bhagavan Nama is something which everyone can hold. Namani anantasya hatatrapaha patan guhyani bhadrani kritani jasmaran gam paryatan tushtamanaha gataspraha kalam pratikshan vimado vimatsara. This was Narada's sadhana. Narada in his former janma, Vyasa Bhagavan is asking, what did you do? He said, I was just chanting his nama. Namani anantasya hatatrapaha. Without lajja. Without any shame. I was just singing the nama. See, Swamiji said you can have party also, but with Bhagavad Bhaktas. I just remembered one incident. My association with Swamiji also is mostly from Rishikesh, Shivananda Ashram. So Shivananda Ashram, when I was there, I remembered this story that Swami Shivananda was a doctor in Malaysia. His name was Kupaswami. So one day, his associates, fellow doctors, one of them was getting married. So they had a very nice party. You know what parties, Bengaluru people know better. So they were having a party. Deliberately they avoided inviting Kupaswami. First of all, he is very orthodox, very devout person, and he will spoil this sport which they are having there. So they deliberately avoided him. While all their pop music was happening, this punya music come inside. See, they were having all the dance party. Somewhere this harmonium sound came. And he started chanting Radhe, 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 Govinda, Vrindavana Chandra. This song was happening. They were shocked. We didn't invite him and he has come. And Dr. Kuppaswamy said, my dear friend, you are my friend. Whether you invite me or not, I have come. Let your marriage be made pure, holy by Bhagavan Nama. So we will have Bhagavan Nama Kirtana. That is why I brought harmonium. All of you sit here. And he was very strong. And his presence was also very compelling. People all, they just, in those days, they hid their bottles inside. and started chanting Bhagavan Nama. So this is pure compassion. People, to show compassion, you must be very daring. You have to risk. Otherwise we will say, why unnecessarily bother about them? We will go our way. So he just dared to go there and started chanting Bhagavan Nama. Bhagavan Nama Kirtana was happening. So this Bhagavan Nama Kirtana, Bhagavad Bhakti Shravana itself is a samadhi. As many Malayali devotees are here. So one of the very well-known great devotee of Guruvayur, Bharakundam, he was a great bhakta, Parama Bhagavata. So his Bhagavata, about which devotees used to say that Rasa Krida was happening, and he was narrating the story, and he will not read, someone should read, so that after that Rasa Krida Katha narration, all of them were in a kind of Bhavasmati. Nobody was able to speak. They were all in a kind of absorption, in ecstasy. Then he said, is there no one? Now the story is over. Now you have to do Parayanam. He asked, nobody is there to read. No one was ready. They were all in a kind of ecstasy. Then he stood up and said, Guru Ayyappa, give me a Kathina Hridaya, so that he can do Bhagavata Parayanam. I need a very strong, hard-hearted person who can, even at such a situation, do Parayanam. And there was one Ramaswamy Iyer, about whom I have heard some other story also. He was very close with Abhedananda Swami. So he stood up and said, here is a Kathina Hridaya. I am here to read. Saying this, he swooned and fell down. He swooned and fell down. So that bhakti rasa, that is very rare, because so much pure upadhi is needed. We say, Bhagavata says, Muktim dadati karhi chitsma natu bhakti yogam. Bhagavan sometimes gives you mukti. Mukti means what? Jnanam. Jnanam is mukti. Mukti is jnanam, jnanam is mukti. That is how Bhagavatam also defines mukti. Muktir hitva anyatha bhavam swarupena avasthitihi. That is the definition of Bhagavatam. You give up all the upadhi. I am not the body, the mind, the self which is shining forth is ever liberated. It is nitya mukta. There is no question of even jivan mukti. Mukti hi atma iva nanya. Mukti is the very nature of atma. It is the very nature of self. When the avidya vyavadhana is removed, the obstacle is removed, the very nature of the self is mukti. It is liberation. It is ever liberated. Sadhya mukti. But bhakti, tad buddhayaha, tad atmanaha, tannishtaha, tad parayanaha, nityanubhuta, nijalabha nivritta trishnaha. The atma is nityanubhuta, but you should have that nijalabha. Jnanam is nijalabha. The mind absorbs that knowledge, it thinks about it, it contemplates, it meditates. That is what Shankara Bhagavad also says, Swaswarupa anusandhanam bhaktiritya bhitiyate. You know the self and then you go to worldly life. Doesn't look very sweet. You know the Atman and you take delight in the Atman. Atmaratihi, Atmakridaha, Atmamithunaha, Atmanandaha. That part is very, very profound. Upanishad says, Atma Pashad, Atma Purastad, Atma Dakshinataha, Atmottaradaha, Atmai Vedam Sarvam. Everywhere it is Atman. Evam Pashyan, Evam Manvanaha, Evam Vijanan, Atmaratihi, Atmakridaha, Atmamithunaha, Atmanandaha. This was Prahlada. This was the state of Prahlada. This was the state of Shukacharya. This was the state of Jadabharata. Such Paramahamsas are all pictured in Bhagavata. So if you don't get satsanga, you go on reading Bhagavata, you get the Vedanta Shastra, you get Bhakti, you get immense satsanga. No? The rahasya of Bhagavata is, Bhagavan Krishna says in Ekadasha Skandha, the greatest rahasyam is satsanga. And to believe that you need tremendous bhakti, immense bhakti. Krishna tells Uddhava, you are a bhakta, you are my friend, so when I tell you, you will believe. Otherwise you will not believe. Tvam sugopyam api vakshyami, tvam me bhrityaha suhrit sakha. Sugopyam, it is very hidden rahasya, but I will reveal to you because you are my bhritya, you are my sakha, you are my bhakta, so I will reveal to you. What is that? Na rodhayati mam yogaha, na sankyam, dharma evacha, na swadhyayaha, tapaha, tyagaha, neshtapurtam, na dakshina, vratani, yaknyaha, chandamsi, tirthani, niyamaha, yamaha, yathavarundhe satsangaha, sarvasangapaho himam. A big list was given. Yoga, Sankhya, Yajna, everything. By that you will not, that easily you will not attain. But by Satsanga you will attain like this. What is the pramana? Satsangena iva hidaiteyaha, yatudhanaha, mrigaha, khagaha, gandharva, apsarasaha, nagaha, siddhaha, charana, guhyakaha, vidyadharaha, manushyeshu, striyaha, shudraha, antyajaha. Vrishaparva, Balir, Banaha, Mayashata, Vibhishanaha, Vraje, Gopyaha. And he closes the chapter by saying, Tvashtra Kayadavadhaya. The Tvashtra is Vritra and Kayadhava is Prahlada. He ends with Tvashtra Kayadhavadaya. Because Vritra was a great asura, and his heart was full of bhakti. He somewhere had contact with Sankarshanamurti. In his past birth, bhakti entered him. And last moment, his heart was open. See, when Swamiji said, meeting a great avatara like Bhagavan or like Jivan Mukta and avatara, they are not different. So many people who met Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi have moved with them, some at least very profound state they were. Some of them have seen the state in which they were. One devotee, I remember now, from Mumbai, he wanted to see me. He has seen Maharshi only once. Only once he has seen, and he was very close, so he was actually in his deathbed. So he just said, I want to just see you before leaving the body. So I went to his house, Mumbai, when Bhagavatha Saptaha was happening there. So there I went there, all the urinary bag, everything with that, he was in the couch. And there he said, first he said how he saw Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi and how Maharshi looked at him. And then he said, then I asked him, how are you now? Because you can see how he is outwardly. The body is very, very weak. Then when I asked him, how are you? He said, when I close my eyes, there is only an effulgence. Or jyoti dhan theriyarthu. When I open my eyes, he is there in this room. Avan irukkan inga. Everyone felt it. Everyone felt when he said, some of the devotees who came with me, they still say that, we felt it. When I opened my eyes, he is there. So this, and because it is like lighting a lamp from a lamp. You need a well-lit lamp. You cannot light a lamp from a video. It will look like a flame, but you cannot light. You can light a lamp directly from a lamp. So you need a higher presence, a sannidhi. And in that sannidhi, the ego naturally subsides. In Tamil, there is one work, Ozhivilodukam, very scholarly Vedanti, Kannudaya Vallalar. There is one song which he says, we can attain everything, but how will we erase the ego, the attainer. Tannizhappai ennakatru sadhippan. Says, how will I remove this I? And then he says, this ego is like a mad elephant. But the elephant has one thing. It is very afraid of the lion. And it need not even see the lion directly. Even in a dream, if it sees the lion, it will get a heart attack and die. Like that, this ahankara, when it meets Sadguruvam Mannum Perum Siyam, Madayanai Sopanatte Tondri. It is like that Simha, that lion is being seen by this Jiva, and just it wakes up from the dream. The ego dream is over. Because that presence is needed. You need a Brahmavetta, a Jivan Mukta, who, when you see him, you don't see a person, you see Brahman. You are not seeing a Vyakti there, an individual there. Dehiva drishyate sau parantvaso kevalohi atma. He looks like an embodied person, but he is not a body. He is the pure consciousness. Jnanena akasha kalpena dharmangyo gaganopamana. He is like Akasha, says Gaudapadacharya. He is like the infinite space. Although he looks present, limited in the body, he is the limitless truth. So that is Shukacharya. That is why he was called Sarvabhuta Hridayam Munim Anatosmi. He is Sarvabhuta Hridayam. When he speaks about Gopikas, he will become Gopika. When he speaks about Prahlada, he will become Prahlada. When he speaks about Dhruva, he will become Dhruva. When he speaks about Uddhava, he becomes Uddhava. Uddhava cannot become Gopikas. Gopikas cannot become Prahlada. But there is one person who becomes everybody. He becomes Parikshit also. That is why ultimately, like a play, he gives Parikshit the jnanam. Ultimately he says, Tvam tu rajan parishyeti pashubuddhi mimam jahi. O Raja, give up this ignorance that you are going to die. Na jatahatvam. You are never born. Pragabudodya dehavatvam na nangshasi. You do not have any body at all. You abide in the self. And Parikshit also says, Bhagavan, by your grace I have attained. Bhagavan, takshakadibhyo mrityubhyo na bibhemyaham. I don't fear anything. This is the result of Brahmajnana. This is the result of bhakti also. What is the sign of bhakti? No fear. Anjuvadi yadondrumillai anjavaruvadumillai. Trinavakarsa Devara, he says, we don't fear anybody. Namanayum anjum. Even Yama, if he comes, we are not afraid. So that is the power of bhakti, and that is the power of jnana also. So Parikshit here says, Ajnanam cha nirastam me jnana vijnana nishtaya bhavata darshitam kshemam param bhagavatah param. Abhayam darshitam tvaya. You have revealed to me that fearless state, Abhayam. As Janaka was given that, he says, Abhayam, by Janaka Praptosi. He also says, Abhayam darshitam. You have shown me what is fearlessness, true fearlessness. I am established in that fearless Bhuma, that infinite. Now I don't fear. So this is the fruit of Bhagavatam. When you really absorb Bhagavatam, when you study Bhagavatam every day, listen to Bhagavatam, and Anupathanam, Shrotavyaha, Anupatitavyaha, Adarena Anupathanam. After that, you go and again read Bhagavata Upasana, one of the great Bhagavatas of Kerala, Malur, Bhagavata Hamsam. He told me once that in these days people are very early starting doing Bhagavata Katha. In our days, we used to do at least 36 years of Upasana. It is not 10 or 12 years, it is 36 years of Upasana. So that much importance was given, that much purity was maintained. So that Bhagavata Katha is given here from today onwards, from tomorrow onwards, the 7 days, Saptaham Prachalati. This Saptaha is going to happen. We have to listen to Bhagavad Katha. We have to listen to Bhagavata Parayanam. Because that Parayanam itself is Katha. And so many Bhagavata Saptahas we have done. But every Bhagavata Saptaha, when the Parayanam is happening, we will sit, some new light will come. Some new verse will give darshanam. So actually every verse is Krishna Swarupa. Srimad Bhagavadakyoyam Pratyaksha Krishna Evahi. So every verse is Bhagavat Swarupa. So sometimes one verse will reveal to you, sometimes another verse will come to you. It's powerful. Sadhana is there, Yoga Shastra is there, Bhakti Shastra is there. Daily life is there. Grihastha Dharma is there, Sannyasa Ashrama is there. If highest Paramahamsa Dharma is told, next chapter, Dharmaputra is asking, how can a Grihastha attain that? And Narada says, I will tell you. Grihastha yedam padavim ena vidhina anjasa. In a simple way, how will the Grihastha attain? Then Narada reveals a chapter and says, Grihastopi nyasinam padamiyat. He will also attain that state of bhakti, Bhagavad Bhava, which a monk can attain, a renunciate can attain. So it is possible. So this is Bhagavata Dharma. You can see in Maharashtra, that Varakari Sampradaya, so many Mahatmas, so many Jnanis, they were all working somewhere. Somebody is an farmer, someone is a tailor, someone is a even sewage cleaner, someone is a ritualistic Brahmin. Some others were all moving avadhutas. All of them were, in one thing is same, that all have got that realization, that experience. This Chokamela was a sewage cleaner. Toti. Tamil we say Toti. In Malayalam also we say Toti. So he died of an accident. When big building collapsed and he died there. And his body had to be found. So Namadeva Maharaj was moving about how to find Chokamela's body. He took every bone and kept it in his ear. And they say when he identified the right bone, it was just vibrating Vitthala, 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 Vitthala. So every cell is divinized. Every kosha is carrying Bhagavad Bhava. So that with that simple, and at the same time they were all highest Advaita Bhaktas. Because they all held to Jnaneshwari and Ekanathi Bhagavata. And Jnaneshwari is a great Advaitic work. And Ekanathi Bhagavata is also a great, in the very beginning Ekanath Maharaj says, I am Eka. And my Kula Devata is Ekavira. Ekavira is one name of Divine Mother, Durga. He says, my Kula Devata is Ekavira. Ekaviradi Samsevya comes in Trishati. And she is very bravely protecting this Ekatva. She will not allow the second to come inside. So that much of Advaita. And he says, we are speaking about Ekadasha Skanda. And we are finishing it on Ekadashi. And whoever studies it will have the experience of that Eka. That Eka, that Ekatva. And Tukaram says he has done the Parayana of that Ekanathi Bhagavat thousands of times. Thousands of times. So this Bhagavata Grantha should be done as an Upasana, not as a you read some book, no. You have to do Upasana of Bhagavata. You have to study Bhagavata, you have to absorb Bhagavata, you have to live Bhagavata. Then Bhagavata, we also will become Bhagavata. Smarantaha, patantaha, smarantaha, shrinvantaha, dhyayantaha. Always just like that, the life will be blessed, and then that Bhagavati Bhakti will dawn. Ramakrishna used to say, Bhagavati Bhakti is that Bhakti, so the syrup of Bhakti boiled in the fire of Jnana, cooked in the fire of Jnana. So this is the highest Bhakti, Para Bhakti. By Bhagavan's grace, let us at least have the Arambha Bhakti. Narayana Bhattadri, taking from Bhagavata, says, Bhudeshveshu tvadaikya smriti samadhigatau nadhikaro dhunachet tvatprema tvatka maitri jadamatishu kripa dvitsu bhuyad upeksha archayam va samarcha kutukam urutara shraddhaya vardhatam me tvat samsevi tathapi dhrutam upalabhate bhaktalokottamatvam. He says even he also will become a great bhakta. Who starts with Vigraha, Archavatara. Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, they will call it Archavatara. It is also a great avatar. The Murti which is available in Guruvayur, Tat Tavad Bhati Sakshat Guru Pavanapure Handa Bhagyam Janana. If you begin there, then Ishvare Tadadhineshu Balisheshu Dvishatsucha Prema Maitri Kripa Upeksha Yakkaroti Samadhyamaha. That Madhyama Bhakti will come, then Uttama Bhakti will come. Sarva Bhudeshu Yaf Pashet Bhagavad Bhavam Atmanaha Bhutani Bhagavati Atmani Esha Bhagavatottama. One who beholds Bhagavan in every creature and the entire existence in Bhagavan, such a one is a Bhagavatottama. So let us start our bhakti from where we are with simple Bhagavan Nama Japa, Bhagavata Parayana, Aradhana of Bhagavan's Murti. If we can start like this, that bhakti will take us to the highest experience, where you will behold the entire existence as divine. With this, we will today conclude. We will do our Samarpana of these talks. With great devotion, they are conducting this Bhagavata Satram. Let this Bhagavata Satram happen with great success. Let all bhaktas, more and more bhaktas, come and participate and enjoy this Bhagavata Sangama. So many devotees from many places are coming here to talk on Bhagavatam. So listen to that and be blessed. Gopika Jeevana Smaranam.